What's up, guys? E-Bike Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. I may not make the best decisions, but I do make decisions. So last year I had two 13-cell 6P packs, and I got them really cheap. They were like 75 or 80 bucks a piece. Ended up selling both of them on eBay, and now I have purchased another 48 volt pack. This is a 13-cell 8P from China with probably generic China cells. It's not the best idea, but it is an idea. So my thought process was to get rid of these two packs that probably put out more power because they had genuine cells, and to get one pack that is now 48 volt 20 amp hour. So there's 8 2500 milliamp cells. So I'll have 20 amps to run the Voloci 48 volt and probably give me some more range. Now hopefully these cells will output 30 amps continuous and maybe peak slightly higher because my controller is only 30 amps. But let's cut the brass tacks and bust this bad boy open. See what's inside. Wow. What do you know? So this was a US vendor. He basically purchased a bunch of them from China and was shipping them from Ohio. So it looks like we just got a generic China battery with no name cells, but it was stocked in US, so it came in really quick. I think I ordered it Tuesday or Wednesday, and now it came in Friday, and this is Saturday. So that is pretty good. Just bust this thing out. Made in China, Sun Cycles. And it's got a nice XT60 on it, and it actually has an XLR plug for the charging port, which would actually plug right into the Cycle Sadiator that I have, but I don't use this. I use an XT60, so I actually cut it off of my Cycle Sadiator. And then it has a discharge lead. That's really cool. So I did some investigating on all the eBay batteries, and a lot of them, like, they lie about the amp hours. They're not really a true 8P. A lot of them are 7P or 6P or even down to 4P, and they think they have like 5 amp hour cells, which is a lie. So I did a lot of research on this one. I was checking the weight of the battery. This one's like 12 pounds or 11.5 pounds. So it's a true 13 cell 8P. And by looking at it, it looks like this is accurate. So it's gonna slip right into the Voloci. It'll fit right in there. And hopefully it'll give me enough power to get around. Oh, this charger looks really cheesy. It says 48 volt 3 amp. Yeah, I was hoping for a little bit nicer of a charger. It's got a, what was it, a Canadian leaf or a maple leaf on there? And 48 volt 3 amp. 54.6 volts at 3 amps. Well, hopefully that thing works. It's got the same XLR on it to fit right into the battery. I was hoping sometimes you get one of those nice aluminum fin chargers with the fans. This actually has a fan in it, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so apparently this 48 volt 3 amp hour lights up red when it's charging. I was kind of curious about that since there's no LED lights. So hopefully it just turns green when it's done, or the fan will stop spinning. This battery has been charging for almost 5 hours. It is at the max voltage of 54.6, but it has not completed yet. I'm like sitting here waiting for it to be done, and I'm getting pretty impatient. Come on, charger, you can do it. All right, I couldn't wait any longer. I took the battery off charge. It is at 54.5. That's pretty close. It's fine with me. This is the 48 volt 30 amp hour Voloci. She is nice and dusty. Now let's get her out for a ride and see how this new battery does. Well, under load it's at 52, 51. These Velocis do draw quite a bit of power. The 36 volt setup is like 40 amps continuous. So this 48 volt 30 amp controller is similar wattage, but reduced amperage because the voltage is higher. Very windy and a little bit chilly today, but now that the sun's out, it's actually what, 2:30 in the afternoon now. It's probably the peak niceness of the day right here. This morning I was out on the 72 volt Death Voloci. I did some GPS speed runs, and I changed out the sprocket from a 9-tooth to a 10-tooth. And now I get to ride the 48 volt Voloci around. Brakes on this bike don't really work too well. So the rear brake is a stock Voloci. It's a RST, and they're really garbage. You have to really crank on them to get them to do anything. And the front brake is a hydraulic brake, but it's some Chinese thing off of eBay that was like $19.99. And it doesn't seem to hold fluid. I don't know if there's air in the lines or what, but you can just mash it all the way down as far as it goes, and that doesn't really stop either. So the brakes are probably the worst on this bike out of any bike I own. But then again, this is like a slower cruiser bike anyway, so I'm not super worried about needing really high stopping brake power. Anything will do on this bike. I'm gonna try to make it all the way to the Connecticut reservoir. Probably gonna be freezing by the time I get there, but I do have my gloves and my full face helmet on today, so we can mitigate some of that cold. Yeah, so you gotta like pump these brakes to get them to start slowing down. There we go. You pump them, they start working a little better. I meant to try to bleed this front brake, but I just didn't get around to it today. I have so many things I'm trying to get done on the weekends, and I usually only have one day. This weekend I have Saturday and Sunday, so I'm lucky I got a 2-day weekend. But I have so many things I'm trying to get done. I'm trying to consolidate a lot of my bike stuff, sell a lot of my bike stuff, and I have a new bike coming in the mail soon. It's going to be pretty nasty. I'm sure a lot of you know what they are. I'm just not divulging the information quite yet. But in due time, probably within about a week, I'll be doing the unboxing. And after I get that bike, I won't really need many other bikes. So I'm thinking of selling most of my stuff, try to recoup some of the cost of this new bike. Alright, so the battery's at 50 volts right now. It did just drop under 50 volts. I didn't really catch exactly what it said on the voltage meter, but it's at literally 50 volts exactly right now, which isn't too promising considering it was just fully charged and it's already sagging quite a bit. There's some electric scooters right there. They saw that I was electric and were like, hey, e-bike. So I put air in the tires. I pumped them up to 40 PSI. Which is kind of medium for these Voloci tires. You can pump them up to like 100 PSI. The manual, I think, requests like 73 PSI is what you're supposed to put these in. I usually go about 45. Today I went 40.
Get this thing up to some speed here. This is pretty much the top speed right here on this bike. It's actually going pretty quick right now. Holy crap. If I had to guess, I would say 37 miles an hour. I don't know. Definitely going pretty quick. E-bike. There's another electric bike. All right. Now this is a stock Voloci motor on this bike. The bike is pretty much completely stock, except for swapping out the controller to a 48 volt 30 amp hour China controller. It's like an Infineon 12 FET. It's pretty old. I've owned the thing for 10 plus years. Let's take a quick stop right here, like I always do, and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Look at all these trees underwater. This place is super flooded right now. I could literally jump off of this bridge and do a cannonball down there, and I wouldn't touch the bottom. So the battery's sitting at 51.8, 51.9, 51.8, 51.9, bouncing back and forth. So I didn't want to really hammer on this battery today. I just kind of wanted to do a cruiser, get like a nice commuting sort of range. I didn't want to just go flat out full throttle and then see the thing die in 10 miles. Kind of want to get out for a nice little ride and see if this battery pack would be able to get me around town without having range anxiety, which is one of those really serious things you get on an electric bike. I love e-bikes. I've been into this for like at least 15 years now, since I had my first bike. I took my GT Avalanche apart and I put a 48 volt 1000 watt Golden motor hub motor kit on it, and I bought a V-Power duct tape battery, which was a 48 volt 10 amp hour LifePo battery. And everybody said that those V-Powers were complete garbage, but I actually had great results with that battery. Put thousands of miles on my bike, and the thing worked every single time. The BMS worked. I had no problems with it. Everybody was weary, don't buy them. Duct tape batteries are garbage, but it was actually one of the best batteries I've ever owned. It was LifePo 4. I have since always stuck to lithium ion because I'm a fan of the higher voltage. But it was, I'm not sure. I think it was a 13P. I mean, I think it was a 13 cell 10P pack. And it got me tons of fun. I love that battery. Now I buy lithium ion, so right now I'm running a 13 cell 8P pack. It's got a little higher voltage. All right, so let's continue on and see if we can make it all the way to the Connecticut trails. Right now, I think we're in Dudley, Mass. I'm not really sure where all these small towns intersect at all these back roads, but I'm pretty sure this is Dudley right now. So we're gonna head up the hill here, and this is probably the biggest hill we're gonna have this whole trip. And then after we get up this hill, we're gonna get on a main road and head right into Connecticut. So the bike is at 52.1 volts. Floated up a little bit while we were sitting here. And now let's get on the road. Oh yeah, it dropped all the way down to 47. Oh my God. That's not good. We're at 47 volts right now climbing that hill. 46.9. Wow. See these eBay batteries, man? You get what you pay for. Now it's back up to 51.1. That is crazy. It's at 47. Again, that's scaring me. I think my low volt cutoff is at 42. So, I mean, we're not even close to these trails yet. This is probably a bad idea, but I'm still gonna push it. Because, I mean, come on, this is a brand new 48 volt 20 amp hour battery on its first charge. Granted, I took it off the charge 0.1 volts before it was done, but that's no excuse. There's no way it's dropping this low. All right, it's at 49 because we're going downhill. This is scary. So it's already dropped 7 volts since we started riding. Now that I'm looking at this, there's a lot more uphill on the way back. This is kind of scaring me since this was all pretty much downhill. The way back is going to really kill this bike. We're at 47 volts. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Well, hopefully I won't be pushing it home because I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. But hey, it's a beautiful day out. I could use the exercise. We'll chalk it up to that, I guess. Speed limit's 40. I'm definitely not speeding. Probably maintaining around 30. All right, it's at 45.9, going uphill again, 46. Man, this is not good. We're really pushing this battery already. Brand new battery. Oh my God. Why can't batteries just do what they're supposed to do? I mean, I weighed this battery. This battery is the correct size. It is a real 13 cell 8P, but these cells are just garbage. I mean, if they were Panasonic cells or Sony cells, I'm sure they wouldn't be dipping this hard. But because there's some knockoff cell, for all we know, they're recycled cells. And they should not be dropping this hard. This 20 amp hour battery should theoretically get you about 20 miles. And I'm saying we're probably not even 5 miles into this ride, and we're at 45.7 volts. That's a 10 volt drop over what this pack was fully charged just a few moments ago. And we're gonna keep pushing it. We are pushing it. We're just going for broke here. I don't think my GoPro battery is gonna last long enough so you can see me pushing it home anyway. I'll be walking down the street thumbing for a ride, and my GoPro will be dead. Oh, we're close to the trails, probably another mile away. We're at 46.2. Man, this battery is a disappointment. We made it to the trails. Look at that. There's a slight rainbow being formed right over here. I'm not sure if you can see it in the sun. It's kind of cool. .7 is where the battery's sitting at now. Let's give it a test with the hand, see if it's warm. Nope, you can't tell. It just feels normal. Man, these riding gloves are getting a little too small for my hands, or my hands are just getting fat. I've had them for a few years. Usually I just lose them, but this pair stays with me for some reason. Oh, my camera battery is at 37%. That's not bad. if you can see on the screen here. 49.8 volts. I have a feeling this battery is going to get sold back on eBay after one discharge. Because it's just not doing what it should do. And I should have just built my own battery, but I just don't have the time anymore. And then once I do, I'm too lazy to take the time to put a BMS onto it. I only did it on that 172 volt battery, and it came out amazing. I don't know why I just never have the time to finish it all up, or I don't make the time. So I try to cheap out and buy one of these, and now this is what we get. We get a bad product. I mean, this isn't even that far. I think this is like 5 or 6 miles from the house. And now I have range anxiety. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get home. Oh, that is muddy. And I probably shouldn't even be driving down this trail because I need to get home without it dying. This is one of these problems that I'm not going to have when I get my new bike. I'm going to end up wanting to sell everything I own, which I probably should do anyway to try to recoup some of the cost of this new bike. It's almost $5,000. It's probably about what I got in all my other stuff. I mean, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars over the years on all these electric bikes, but on the used market, it's not worth much. I mean, I could probably get a couple grand for the stuff that I have, and that's really it. Oh my God, look at this. It's flooding so bad that the water is coming over this peninsula. Wow. That's crazy. I've never seen that. I'm not even gonna drive through there because that is swampy. Man, is it really nice out right now. This is the peak of the day right here in the sun right now with the wind being very calm. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But I can't wait to come here on my new bike. Not only will I be able to come here at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour, but I should be able to go at least 40 miles in range too. So I won't have range anxiety anymore once I get the new bike. In a perfect world, I wouldn't get rid of any of the bikes. I seem to regret every single electric bike I've ever sold. I miss them all eventually, but I have so much stuff and so many bikes. I'm running out of room. My basement is full, my shed is full, my work is full of stuff. I have so much stuff. And I have an XR80 that I bought my son that he doesn't really even use. And it's at my brother's, and my brother wants me to pick that up too because he doesn't have room for it. So now I'm gonna have another gas bike sitting around. Then I have an old 1982 RM80 or something that somebody gave me that I paid $100 for. It's all in parts. I have that just sitting around too. And I have an old Harley chopper sitting around that was supposed to get converted to electric that I never did. I got that sitting around. I got the Denzel 4-speed. I got the 2,000 watt electric Grom clone that I got for $20. So I think I'm going to be parting out a lot of these bikes. Like the Grom clone, the Grom clone, I could sell the hub motor alone for probably $250. and then, you know, the wheels and all that stuff and the suspension, it would all sell. I'd probably just scrap the metal frame or whatever. I don't know if anybody would want the frame and swing arm, but maybe. And then the Denzel bike, it's pretty much trash. I mean, it was a Chinese dirt bike that had a blown engine I bought for $200 on Craigslist. So, I mean, I did put that nice front fork on it. The front fork is off an Apollo 250 Chinese dirt bike. That's probably worth 200 bucks. 200 bucks. And then the drive itself, which, you know, it's only $400 or $500 new. So I could probably only sell that for $250 maybe. So there's not much between those two bikes. Probably make $800 if I'm lucky. I don't know. All right, we're climbing uphill. The battery's at 46%. Let's see if we can make it home. And this wasn't even a long trip. For a 20 amp battery, you should be able to comfortably go 20 miles. And I don't even think we're gonna get about 12. And the battery pack's sagging. I'm not really driving fast. I'm keeping it at around half throttle. I only went full throttle on that one stretch in the beginning. Not very impressed with this battery. I have a couple motors for sale that I bought brand new and didn't even touch. I got that brand new QS 90,000 watt. It's like a $400 motor. Now I'm gonna sell it for $250 and lose out on a ton of money. I got the LR Big Block XL. Again, it's a $400 motor with the sprocket. I'm probably gonna end up selling it for $300 and losing money on that one. I got a Voloci EM100 field weakening controller that I've used only for testing. I've never installed it on a bike or ran it. That's probably worth about 100 bucks. So I probably got, you know, at least there's 1,500 bucks if I get rid of the electric Grom clone, get rid of the Apollo, Denzel 4-speed, and then get rid of all my spare parts and get at least 1,500 bucks. I'll take a dent out of the new bike. Then it'll only be about 3,000 invested into it. Now the Kuberg Freerider, I don't think I'm gonna need it anymore, even though I love the bike and it's like a one-of-a-kind. I extended the swing arm. My brother helped me weld it all. It's an amazing bike, super lightweight, super powerful. Once I get this new bike, I have a feeling I'm not gonna really wanna ride it anymore because the range is not the best. It's got that Samsung 40T pack, which is $400 worth of cells. That I could probably sell for, again, right around 300 maybe. But the Kuberg bike itself is worth quite a bit of money. Like, even if I sold that frame alone, I sold the front forks for 300 bucks. The frame's probably worth $1,200. So, I mean, there's money there. I can definitely sell everything I own and break even on this new bike. I'm just not sure how far I want to go. I also just bought the Zero FX last year, and that thing was $5,000. I don't want to sell that because that one's street legal. And again, I don't think it's worth selling it. I got the thing on the road. Although it does cost quite a bit to just leave it on the road all year. It costs a couple $100 to keep it insured and registered. I think it costs about 200 bucks a year. So it's not the cheapest thing to keep having around. But it is fun to get out on that also. I just ran over a piece of metal. Luckily I didn't Get a flat. All right, battery's at 44.1, folks. We are getting dangerously low. Good thing I'm chit-chatting the whole ride home. 43.8. So now we got some hill climbs to get back into Dudley and Webster, and I am getting worried. Gonna have to go easy on it. This hill right here is gonna kill it right now. We are going on Route 12 uphill. 44, 43.9, 43.7. It's holding still at 43.7. That's good. 43.6. I really just expected a little more out of this battery. I'm slightly disappointed. I mean, I did want to buy this battery to have this bike to just cruise around when I didn't want to go super fast. But I have a feeling I'm going to be selling this battery. Sell it as new open box after just one use. It was $209, and with the taxes and shipping, it was $230. So I sold my two other batteries and made $150. It cost me $80 to get this battery, basically, and it wasn't worth it. I honestly feel like it's getting the exact same range that those 13-cell 6P packs were getting. And those had a 50 amp BMS. This one has a 30 amp continuous BMS because the cells are not as nice. But there was two more in parallel, so I figured it would be a little better off for a longer rides. And I think it was a waste of my time. Now we got a nice downhill here. We're back up to 45 volts. That's good. I think we're gonna make it home, but this battery's just not good enough. Does feel good to get out on the Volocis today. They're very small, very nimble bikes. They handle really well. They're very low to the ground. I am a larger rider though. I'm like 6'3", 240. So it's a little uncomfortable of a ride. But I love the Volocis so much. I'll never not ride one when I get the chance. Alright, we're cruising now. Battery's at 44.7. And we're going slightly downhill, so we're flying now. Hey, birdie, birdie. That was cool. A cardinal just... that was a robin. I think it was a robin staying up with us. Oh, we're down to 43.1. Slightly uphill here till we head into town. I do have one big hill climb to get back to my house, but I'm going to detour it. I'm going to take the main road and go past the police station and past McDonald's, and it'll bypass most of the hill. Just take an extra couple minutes. The one thing I'm worried about with the new bike is that it does look a little more like a dirt bike, and it's a big gray area. I mean, they have the knobby off-road tires, the dot rated wheels. It's got that the front plastic that makes it look more like a dirt bike, which you don't have to run, but you're gonna want it there because anything you hit with water and mud splatter and tire splatter is gonna come right in your face if you don't have the guard on. Riding on the sidewalk right now, going nice and slow because there's a lot of traffic. I'm gonna jump off right now, get on the street. She's at 46.3.
All right, so the Voloci made it back. My GoPro died about 5 minutes before I got home, and it got real sketchy. The voltage of the bike went down to 42.5 when I was coming up the hill to my house, and the low volt cutoff on this controller is 42 volts. So I was a little weary, but this battery just did not perform as expected. This is a 48 volt 20 amp hour battery, and it honestly performed like it was a 12 amp hour battery realistically. Maybe even a 10 amp hour, not sure, but not cool, not ideal, but that's what you do. You go out and test things, and now we know. Thanks for riding with me today, guys. Thanks for listening to my rant about my e-bike stuff, and this is E-Bike Scott signing out.